think you got me? Make a move and we can see. Try to run, but the demolition has begun.
Okay. Alright, this was a toss-up that I chose to bring up to my buddy Laurel about which one to do of... Should we talk about one topic or another about a day in V's life? And she chose the former rather than the latter, so I'm sorry all of you morbid ass fucks. This is me talking to you guys about the first ever actual romance I had with a lady by the name of Jade Goldberg. Or is it Goldstein? She keeps changing her last name.
That's not throwing it out.
I throw it out.
Huh?
I did throw it out.
Goldstein.
I'm sorry, I got thrown off because Crafty Simmer Heike's being adorable with her fiance, so don't mind me if I pause out of nowhere. Anyway, me and Jade's history goes back to when I was 10 years old, and she was only 16.
She's 16.
Yeah, we have a 6-year difference between us.
That's not that bad.
It's really not, but when we first met, it wasn't for romantic purposes.
Friends.
No, she was trying to gut me like a trout.
Oh. Oh dear.
I was trying to just go to one simple river to get my head cleared from something that happened. I forget what it was. And Jade, thinking I was one of the tiny little munchkin people that she robbed earlier that day, thought I was one of them, until she noticed I was just a 10-year-old kid. Not the best way to meet your first love, but at the same time, I know what dead bodies look like and have seen a lot of things where I've caused a lot of dead bodies to show up, so my background towards death is really, really not that interesting. Moving on from that standpoint, though, we first were starting to talk, and I heard her story of she's been running away from home ever since she was 12 years old, and for the past 4 years have just been going from city to city, never staying for more than 3 days, just so that she can find some semblance of a bit of solitude and serenity. Why? How? I couldn't tell you, because Jade has a more boring life than I do. I mean, she's partied with certain presidents, she's been towards India, she's robbed palaces in Russia. It's just a bunch of boring bullshit.
Boring.
We both lead boring lives. We've admitted this several times. But, I actually met her on the last day she was in the state that I was in, where she was saying she'll be roaming around America for a little bit longer, and if we run into each other again, who knows? But I didn't meet her again until I was 12, and she was 18. By the time I was 12, I already lost my virginity, and by that time I was honestly having a mental breakdown / identity crisis where anything I wanted to do could fly. Lie, cheat, steal, kill, anything that you could imagine.
Wow.
And Jade has seen that a lot. So when we met up, when she first came to the state I was during her second day, we decided to consummate into an actual relationship that started off physically. Which became romantic literally overnight. So literally two years of not seeing each other and then starting to have sex just leads to I'm in a relationship with my first love, so I guess that's whatever. But me and Jade's relationship for the next 3 years was just always whenever she was in the state I was in, she would come see me, but she would always send me letters from wherever she turned up to. Like, she would send squirrel, raven, pelican, or pigeon messages from all over the world saying how much she misses me, how much she's going to get gifts for me. And we'd see each other at least four times a year. Most of the time, we would just be talking about our lives or talking about stuff we wanted to do. Like, she wanted to open up a daycare somewhere along with a indoor cooking thing to teach the youth kids that were running away to actually provide for themselves. And back when I was around 12 to 15, I wanted to start a rap career because I could actually spit bars back then. But it all kind of changed a little bit further when we reached the ages of 15 and 21 respectively, where Jade wanted to have children. But here's the downside to this story. By the time I was 15, and my parents will never know this, not even my siblings will ever know this, but I was doing every drug possible by the age of 15. Quaaludes, mushrooms, even heroin to a certain extent.
Wow.
So when she was proposing us to have children, I was half agreeing because I honestly did want to see if we could have kids together. But at the same time, I was in a half-drug state, meaning that anything could happen. So we did try, and eventually she did say around like 2 to 3 months later in a letter that she was pregnant and she's going to come stay in the same state I was, so we could try to formulate a plan of her working and me trying to be a stay-at-home dad. Something I wanted to do even if my parents would not see me for a long-ass time. Which then leads into the tragedy of what would be the catalyst to end our relationship. Because she was 3 months pregnant and I was still being reckless with what I wanted to do with my life, I honestly tried to persuade Jade into taking drugs with me of mushrooms and Quaalude mix with laced marijuana of ecstasy and LSD.
Oh dear.
I will give you guys 5 seconds to pause here to assume what happened before I tell you. The kids came out stillborn 3 days later.
Aw.
She literally woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and she saw the dead fetuses.
Oh dear.
The moment I was able to consciously see that the morning after, to just see Jade crying into a toilet bowl and seeing that it was my fault, broke me more than my own identity crisis did when I found out about my grandpa Cosmo. It literally shook me to my own core, where I honestly kicked every harmful drug for myself, keeping marijuana because I still need that for my bipolar depression, obviously. But me and Jade weren't the same afterwards. We would try to act like everything was okay, but we lost the chance to be parents then. We lost the chance to have children of our own until we met my now adopted daughter of Effie. And yeah, she filled the hole in my void, but just the fact that she couldn't have kids with me like we wanted to was what caused a lot of different issues that eventually we ended up breaking everything off a day before I turned 16. Amicably, of course, because we both knew it was failing.
That right there went from like a good relationship to a downright wrong spiral.
I have done so many things I've regretted, but I think losing out on doing something right by Jade was one of my biggest regrets. But we have gotten in contact recently where since I'm 23 and she's 29, she has met a new guy that she does love. She's forgiven me finally, and we can at least be cordial. But I don't think we'll ever meet each other again. But I will admit that I will admit, like she's admitted to me, that we will always love each other, even if it's never gonna be that sort of relationship again.
Mm.
As for the future about if I'm gonna find love again, it's complicated right now because I found the one that's making me embrace being a demisexual human being, but it's come at a bad time. More on that when details develop, but until then, that's just my own private information.
Mhm.
Anyway, that has been a day in the life of V. I would like to thank you guys for coming out to watch this honestly very, very dark tale that honestly should make you question whether or not I should be alive.
All I can say is, don't do drugs, kids. Just don't do drugs. If you're on drugs, quit. Unless you have an actual medical reason for.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you for joining me, and also give a special hurrah huzzay for my best friend Laurel, aka CandyTrickster.
Hello.
And we will do another A Day in the Life of V, I think in 2017, because we're all storied out, and eventually I'm going to have to release the special 3-part story of my most amazingly weird adventure of all time with my best friend of Nick.
Yeah. That one's going to be very interesting for you guys.
It's so weird that you're honestly gonna wonder how I am actually alive.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, see you guys later.